So it occurred to me today that we've had a really long spell of dry and hot weather. We've had the occasional thunderstorm and a little bit of rain, but hardly any to talk of this year. I'm up on the Lincolnshire Wolds, so we're quite high up as well, which adds to it really because of the blowing wind. So I thought what I'd do for you is I'd take you around a few of the plants that I can highly recommend as being really drought tolerant. And so if you're struggling at the moment and you're not sure what to plant, then I'll try and give you an idea. So this is my gravel garden, and I built this 2 years ago, and it was originally all grass, all this area. The complete lot was all grass, and I built it with dry plants in mind really, because I quite like the idea of having a dry garden, and that's what gravel gardens are really, dry gardens. So what I'm going to do is start with this one. And this is a grass. You didn't think I'd do this video without including at least one grass. And this is Lamprophysis heinronii. And it is an absolutely wonderful grass. Now, I moved this last year at the wrong time, really. But it's bounced back lovely. And it can tolerate extreme dry conditions. And it gets quite tall now. It's held back a bit because I did move it. But I've seen one like this, very plant here, at Beth Chatto's. And they live in the driest part of England, really. And I saw theirs and was absolutely shocked to see that it was absolutely huge. And it must have been 7 foot tall in flower. So I'm hoping that mine will respond the same way. So it's a really, really nice grass to get. And as you can see, it has these lovely flowing seed heads. They're quite nice. And as I said, it's going to get a lot taller than that. Okay, so what else would do well? Well, there's another one here, and it's got several names, but I'm going to call it Raponticum centraudes. I will put up on the screen the synonyms, and a synonym is something that is also accepted as its name by the plant community, really. And this is a stunner. It's really, really nice. It starts off with, let's have a look. So it starts off with these little bauble-y seed heads, which are very papery, as you can hear. And then it develops quite a few of the stalks, and this is 2.5 years in now. So it's doing really well. And produces those pink tops. Now I actually prefer it when it just has those papery type flower heads there. But I must admit it does look really, really nice when it's like this as well. You've got to agree that does look pretty good. And this will take the driest of dry conditions. And it's never failed, and it's never let me down. Now I think that's about where it should be. As tall as it should be. It'll not get much taller than that, but it will clump bigger over time. But this particular one probably won't, because I've encased it in the soil that it's in by putting gravel around it at the base. You can't really see that, but where the rocks are, that's got a ground cover of quite harsh rock, so it stops it getting any bigger. So that's a really nice one to get, and I just absolutely love that one. And as you can see from this, in fact, there's another one it just landed on another flower. Here it comes and goes, and it's great for pollinators. Now I see that's struggling to get in there, but it's proboscis. He's really dipping into that and taking out the goodness. So really, really good. So it doesn't care about dry conditions, and it's a wonderful And I'd say at the moment that is about 2.5 foot wide by probably the same height as the flowers sit anyway. So we'll move to this one next, and this is an eryngium, and not your usual eryngium. This one's called agavifolium, and it produces these lovely, well, I think they're lovely seed heads on top. So they are really special, those, as you can see. Wonderful. And then it will self-seed around gently. I've actually grown this successfully from seed, got them going. It's very small plants at the moment, but I fully intend adding more of these to the garden, especially to this area of the garden, because I really do like it. And at the moment, the flower head, the biggest flower head or the tallest flower head, is 3.5 foot. Makes a lovely clump. And as with all eryngiums, it's very, very spiky, and this one in particular is very spiky, as you can see from that. Nevertheless, it's a really, really good doer. And another one that I would highly recommend you get. Okay, so that's the third one. And then there's this one. Now this is a Balotta, and it's called Balotta dictotamnus. And it's lovely. And the drier this one actually gets, the better it performs. And it really, really does not mind dry conditions at all. Now, as you can see, the flowers are forming now. So each leaf, there's two sets of leaves, as you can see, and then the flowers just slightly above it. And when they come out, they will be more of a purple colour. And as I said, the drier it gets, the better it gets. Not 100% sure how big this one gets. I will look it up and put it on the screen, but I seem to think it can make 3 or 4 foot in both width and height. And at the moment, it's about 1.5 to 2 foot by probably 1 foot high. And it's a real good doer that doesn't cause you any problems at all. So that's a wonderful one. So as you can see, I keep these 3 together. They really do look good. So that's wonderful. So they're in the gravel garden, and as you can imagine, it's pretty dry here, and it is on a bit of a slope as well. So I'm going to end with another grass, and this one here is Alimus magellanicus, and it's wonderful, and it has that powdery blue look, and those seed heads there, really nice, and it's a small clump former. Now the drier this one gets, again, the better it looks. The colour goes a more intense blue. And that's been flowering or seeding for the last probably month and a half, I'd say. Memory serves me right, and it is a real beauty. So this one will seed around a little bit for you. There you go, look, another seed or seedling, and another one here, and there are several more around. And I'm leaving them to naturalise. I'm going to lift a couple of them, but I'm leaving them to naturalise around. I really like the look. So there you go. A few plants that you should consider for a dry area, especially as the weather seems to be more and more drier as each year goes by. Okay, I'll talk to you on the next one. Ta-da.